Well, first and foremost, Aviv and David, you're up to the second issue now of your new Ghostbusters book from Dark Horse Comics. It's very exciting here. I don't know if you're familiar with Following the Nerds, but Ghostbusters is one of the cornerstones of why the website exists. I was there in 1984, and Ghostbusters has stayed with me my whole life. And if you can see here, just I've got my proton pack and all sitting here, so I'm a die-hard fan. Representing.
I'm ready. I've got Ghostbusters stuff. Oh God, I know we're on video, but I have to grab this because one of the advantages of being in LA and doing Ghostbusters is I'm close to Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony and Ghost Corps handle all the Ghostbusters licenses. So every time something fun pops up, they're like, "Hey, do you want one?" And I'm like, "Do I want Slimer on top of a pumpkin that says trick or treat?" You know I do. So my office is full of Ghostbuster stuff. So I feel that fandom.
Brilliant.
Wow, I'm very much like the normie in the middle here who
Yes.
The only Ghostbuster film I watched, I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that, but the only Ghostbuster film I watched before starting on this project was the reboot one with the all-female cast that came out in 2020 something. I've only watched the first Ghostbusters film like a month ago, 2 months ago or something.
And did you like it?
I did like it. It's fun. I'm sure it was a lot more fun back then. There are some issues with it that I think the new movies kind of solve, like make it more family friendly, make it more, involve any kind of woman who isn't just there to be possessed, which is nice.
This is true.
And Janine was a force to be reckoned with.
She was cool, yes.
I love the original Ghostbusters. My fandom is Ghostbusters 2 from '89, and the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon that I watched after school. So I've loved Ghostbusters for a very long time. But Aviv, I will say, every time I hear that somebody gets to watch something like Ghostbusters or Neverending Story or all these things that I loved as a kid, and you got to watch it for the first time, I never get to experience that moment of seeing it for the first time. So I'm always thrilled when anybody. There was a great piece of advice that a friend of mine gave me once when I said, "Don't judge me for not seeing this," and she said, "Why would I ever judge you? You get to experience it for the first time." And I don't get that. So I love that. I love that we're slowly bringing you into the afterlife.
I remember my two kids. I have a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old. But I remember taking them to see Ghostbusters when they were 5, 6. They were very small, and I was worried about the library ghost telling her Tweety. I thought it was going because when I was a kid, that traumatized me. That scene, I loved it, but it also scared the absolute life out of me. And I remember taking them to it, and it was kind of. It's coming up. You have to be ready. And after it happened, my son looked at me. He's like, "Really? That?" I was like, "Oh, kids, you're desensitized."
Yeah,
so desensitized. And part of my fun little anecdote about that ghost, she really only appears in 1984, and then I think again in
Frozen Empire.
Frozen Empire, yeah, she comes back. But in the video game, I think it was the 2007 PlayStation game. Yep. She has a full backstory. So they tell why she's there, who she was beforehand. And ultimately, I think she is one of the bosses that the Ghostbusters have to fight. But there's all these layers that they added to this ghost that we see.
Girlfriend and stuff. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I can't remember what the lore was, but I just remember reading it and thinking, this ghost had like 2 seconds of 10 seconds of screen time, and here we are with this unpacking who she was. I love it.
It's kind of the Boba Fett thing, isn't it? Where 2 seconds on screen, but left such an impact on a whole generation of viewers. Yeah.
He got tossed down into the Sarlacc pit, and we're all like, no!
I know, kept thinking he was going to come back. Well, he did, I suppose, a couple of years ago in the new series, but was always hoping before. I remember watching Return of the Jedi and thinking he'll be back. That can't be it, but it wasn't. So listen, I was speaking to Caitlin at Dark Horse, and it sent through a few questions for yourselves. And if that suits you guys, we'll get into it. That'll be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, so this is a big one. We've already sort of touched on this a little bit, but David, you were more saying it was just about how important Ghostbusters was to you before you came onto the project. But you've already sort of got into how Ghostbusters 2 and the real Ghostbusters. Aviv, as we've said already, I'm jealous of the fact that Ghostbusters is still a whole universe for you to really dive into. But uh, like, well, David, for example, you're writing, and Aviv, your artistry. How much was that influenced by Ghostbusters? We've talked about, David. You obviously have a big love for 80s movies, but does that still comes through in your writing today?
Um, y- yes and no. It's kind of an interesting balance because I think the team at Ghostbusters and Dark Horse and me, I love Afterlife. I love Frozen Empire. I love the Spanglers. I love all these new characters. I love their voices. I think we're going to talk a little bit about who we kind of gravitate toward. And I have some particular thoughts about that because I see myself in a lot of these characters. So it's kind of like towing the line between like Ray makes an appearance in, I don't think that's a spoiler because issue 2 is out. So Ray makes an appearance in Dead Man's Chest, the new Ghostbusters series. Um, uh, Winston makes an appearance in the first series. So we're taking the 80s, the characters that originated in the 80s, we're bringing them to the present, but we're also creating this whole new storyline with this new family, which I think, as Aviv, you've said, is very much updated for today. So taking the fun of the 80s Ghostbusters and putting it in today's sensibilities, I think that's what our goal was. And I feel in my gut that we have really achieved that balance of having fun with Phoebe and Trevor and just bringing their 2025 sensibilities through the Ghostbusters lens.
I can already feel because I went back and read Back in Time, and then I've read the first couple issues, which is all the sites so far of Dead Man's Chest. But already I can see your development in the story. I always hate to say it's better, but so far the second series feels better than the first series, so it almost feels as if you're growing into it more, you're getting more comfortable writing these characters.
I yes. The answer is yes. I think I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I think with the second series, there was a lot more freedom for us to, and it wasn't Ghost Corps, it wasn't Dark Horse, it wasn't anything. It was just through circumstance that the first series was kind of somewhat presented, and then we ran with it. Second series was something that the whole storyline with Captain Kidd was something that I discovered and pitched to Dark Horse, to Ghost Corps.
That's great.
Because I mean, I can tell you sort of the origin of it. I literally sat down and I Googled weird ghosts in Manhattan. I'm like, what's out there? And it popped up, and it turned out that Captain Kidd, the notorious pirate, owned a house on Wall Street where he lived with his family as just like a regular upstanding citizen. And I dug into it, and historians are split on whether or not he was this notorious pirate that everybody knows, or if the British Crown had framed him for piracy to be able to hang him as an example. And I'm like, what if Captain Kidd's ghost spent 200 years brooding about being framed? And then he had a chance to come back, and he's like, I'm going to restart this whole thing. So turn Manhattan into a 17th century pirate's den. A hive of scum and villainy. I always want to go to a hive of scum and villainy. And I thought, what a cool idea. And then I pitched it to Ghost Corps and Dark Horse. They're all like, ghost pirates? Say no more. And that's how we did it. So I think being able to get into the groove in Dead Man's Chest, with Aviv especially, because as soon as I saw those character designs and I was getting hints of the art, I was like, this is going to be great.
So this is actually because I wasn't a big fan of Ghostbusters before coming into this project, my hook was the Ghost Pirates, because my go-to, oh my God, you have to see this movie, is Pirates of the Caribbean. the one that I can't believe I'll never be able to watch for the first time again. So when Jenny Bingham Blank, the editor, told me we're doing a Ghostbusters comics, I was like, okay, that's cool. It has pirates. Yes, I'm absolutely in. So it was really exciting from the get-go, and it's so cool to hear that it was your pitch, David, to come up with Pirates and Captain Kidd, and put it into this modern city and modern setting of Ghostbusters. So cool.
That's very cool. And it actually ties very neatly into the second question that I had was, how closely did you work with Ghost Corps and Jason Reitman on the story? Because I always sort of wondered if they had the story or if you had the story. But so, did you work closely with them on the project?
Yeah, so everything, I think, Aviv, this is probably your experience too, that everything that we produced went through Dark Horse editors, went through Ghost Corps, and Jason and Gil Keenan, Jason Reitman, Gil Keenan, both looked at everything. And Jason is Jason and Gil are wonderful. I met them a bunch of times and got to spend some time with them and do story development and that sort of thing. And they're just brilliant. And when I'd be like, okay, I got Gary's dad jokes are down. His banter with Phoebe is down. His Callie and Trevor's back and forth. This fight, it's perfect. And then I would get back dialogue notes, like Jason would give me ideas for lines and stuff, and I'm like, that is 100 times better than what I just wrote. So that's definitely going in here. So it was wonderful to be able to go through that whole process and make sure their voices are there, because their voices really did originate with Jason and Gil.
So in the art process, obviously, I didn't have as much direct contact with Ghost Corps, as much as David did as the writer of this. But they provided so much material, so many reference shots, that it was a delight to work with. I have floor plans, incredibly detailed floor plans that my computer can't even handle because they're so huge, the PDFs of the firehouse, and incredible photos of the Ecto 1 and like all the equipment, all the stuff that the Ghost Corps that they really want to get right, the stuff that's really important. I have incredible reference shots of it, which of course didn't stop me from also spending hours Googling it and trying to find all the angles, all the videos of, let's see how this thing works. But yeah, they were incredibly helpful as far as the artwork went.
Yeah, and Ghostbusters fandom is so deep and so passionate, so worldwide, that you go online and you can find where fans have tried to figure out what the floor plan is of the firehouse just based on shots we've seen, mapping out Manhattan, like where the ghosts are from real Ghostbusters and all, you know what I mean? Just they've dove in so deeply that it's so helpful to us, because frankly, we know that that's probably accurate because fans have spent so much time trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I know you can't. There's no getting around a passionate fan base like Ghostbusters or Star Wars. You don't mess with those guys because they will absolutely eat you up.
Great, good to hear.
Yeah, well, I've made mistakes on Twitter and stuff. You've written something and somebody's like, "Sorry, excuse me," and the next thing there's a pile on. You're like, "Okay, I didn't mean to say red. I meant to say orange. I'm sorry."
I do definitely feel that with Star Wars, but I have to tell you, the Ghostbusters fan base has been nothing but absolutely wonderful. I have something here on the other side of my desk. I did a signing in LA, and I have this guy, and he's signed by all of the LA and Hollywood Ghostbusters.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So they have never once anybody I hope this is your experience, Aviv. Never once has any fan in the Ghostbusters fandom sent me a actually note, message, comment, anything. Everyone has been so wonderful. So kudos to the Ghostbusters fan base, because I know that sometimes things like Star Wars can be and Marvel, DC can be really kind of a wood chipper for creators. So,
but now that you've said that, you still have several issues to come out, and you've said this, so something's going to happen.
Oh,
No, I trust.
There's that little ghost in the back of my head that's going, well, actually, and so I double check and I triple check, and I'm still like,
Brilliant.
is that right? But there is there are tricks and things that you can do, which is you learn everything that you need to learn, and then you kind of push it in a direction that you're like, nobody can actually this because I've just created it, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. I always think that's you can tell with projects that are worked on, in that respect. And Aviva's going to sound like I'm having a go at yourself. I'm absolutely not. But you can always tell when the writers and are actual fans, because there's nothing there that can be picked. The amount of times that, like, I've read a lot of different books, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, all these kind of things, and you read them and you just you can tell how experienced the writers and the talent are, and how, because the passion's in there, the little details, the colours, the expressions, the turn of phrase, all of these things are very important to the fans. So it's good to know that you're a big fan, David.
I really try to. Aviv, I hope this is your sort of perspective also. But I really try to take projects where I have, if not a familiarity, if not like a fandom of it, a familiarity of it, because I can definitely see, for me personally, it's much more difficult to write a licensed IP property when I'm not familiar with it and not passionate about it, versus something like Ghostbusters. I've written Dungeons and Dragons, and they approached me about writing Dark Horse, or IDW approached me about writing Dungeons and Dragons a couple years ago. And it's like, I think it's cool, but I don't know much about it. And they said, oh, well, it's with the characters from the cartoon from the 80s. Surprising no one on this call.
Mm-hmm.
I was a huge fan of this cartoon.
Of course.
Huge fan. And I was like, all right, I got this. I know all the characters. I know their voices. I know everything. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Is that kind of your perspective, your approach, Aviv?
I think it's much more important maybe for a writer to be really familiar and really excited about an IP or a fandom, so you can have the right idea, so you can have the right voice in writing this. I can see how an artist can maybe adapt themselves a bit better to something they don't know. Like for me, I didn't know Ghostbusters at all. I felt like it was enough for me to watch the movie, to watch Afterlife. And then I know the characters, I know who we're dealing with, I understand their acting, their personality, and I'm excited enough about it to be able to have fun with it. But I definitely agree that it's hard to commit to a project or to have fun with a project when it's something you just don't care about. Like, I don't see myself doing and I'm sorry in advance for everyone listening to this, like a Transformers movie, Transformers comic. Like, that's not going to happen for me, for example.
You don't want to you don't want to draw cars, a bunch of cars, trucks.
Can you imagine?
Planes.
Like, drawing the car was the thing that scared me the most, I think, with Ghostbusters Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah. Just for the record, talking about Transformers, I don't know if you're reading the Skybound, the Kirkland stuff that he's doing with the Energon universe at the minute. It's fantastic. He's taken Transformers in a whole new direction, and G.I. Joe and stuff. So if he does approach you and ask you to draw, absolutely do, because it's one of the best books around right now.
I think there's been a lot of kudos, Aviv, for our Ghost Kraken. Everybody loves the Ghost Sea Monster that's attacking
the Kraken.
Statue of Liberty.
You said Ghost Kraken, and I thought you meant like how we're cracking jokes with the ghosts, and then
Ghost Kraken, yeah, our one-liners, everybody loves them, yeah. Our ghost dad jokes. No, the actual Ghost Sea Monster.
Yes.
I saw somebody comment that it felt so Ghostbusters.
Ooh, nice.
Like, it felt cool and fun and kind of over the top in the way that Stay Puft kind of feels that way. So
excellent.
I think I just write the words Ghost Kraken. It's you who brings it to life, so to speak.
Yeah, that was such a fun scene to do. So many. It's ridiculous how difficult it is to track the number of tentacles when they're wrapping around something. It's just 8, but okay, so this wraps around the Statue of Liberty from here and then comes from here. It was a challenge and it was so much fun.
Did you do a real life reference where you took a mini Statue of Liberty and wrapped a mini octopus around it or something?
I wish. No, I had to use a 3D model of the Statue of Liberty, unfortunately.
Okay.
And just use my imagination for the Kraken.
That's great. Great. And if there's a tentacle missing, we'll just say that it was chopped off during life and now in the afterlife it has 7.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we have also we've touched on this already. David, your favorite Ghostbusters movie is Ghostbusters 2, and Aviv, you're still quite muted. You've only seen the original Ghostbusters and the 2016 reboot.
And Afterlife. I think
Afterlife
is my favorite now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting with Afterlife, because you saw Afterlife before the original movie. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Because I got to tell you, the scene at the end when, and David, I'm sure you were the same. I was in bits at the end of that movie, and I'm a grown man, and I like to pretend I don't get that way. I went to see it with my brother, and he's not a massive Ghostbusters fan. He likes it, but he's not anywhere near as passionate as I am. And we came out of the cinema, and he said to me, I don't have the attachment to this series that you do, and I'm in bits. And I remember saying to him, I'll talk to you in a minute. I can't talk to you right now. Because it was such a powerful experience. So okay. So Aviv, we'll start with yourself. You're now 3 Ghostbusters movies in. Which is your favorite?
Yes. So it would be Afterlife, I think, at this point. I don't have the emotional connection to the first one, which maybe I would have had if I watched it back then. But for now, I think the new series is just delightful. I'm still looking forward to watching Frozen Empire. I haven't yet. But it's fun, it's fresh, all the characters are delightful. Paul Rudd is just, I love him, and he does such a good job. Yeah. So yeah, that's my choice.
Paul Rudd
was just...
Sorry, David. Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say, before the new movies happened, I always had a list of actors that I really would love to see in the new Ghostbusters. Jason Bateman was one of them. Paul Rudd was the other. So I remember the social media post he put out where he was outside the firehouse and kind of announced he was back, and I was like, oh my god! So it was just a dream bit of casting to have him in the movies.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to say that Afterlife is probably my favorite movie in the Ghostbusters franchise. I love. It's kind of tied with Ghostbusters 2. But for me, Ghostbusters 2, I watched so many times when it was on cable, after it came out. So that's my nostalgia favorite. Afterlife is probably my current favorite. And my favorite moment, this is what defined Gary and Phoebe for me, was in Afterlife. When she goes, did you set up 3 transmitters? And he goes, 3 sensors. And he goes, I know there are 3 sides in a triangle. And she looks at him and she goes, oh, I just thought you were being obtuse.
Yeah. And the way she winks is so
and it was like
and brilliant. Yeah, it's such a great scene.
It's like her trying to be like she's doing a motion that she's seen other people do to hit the punchline, but it's like she's trying to do it. I think there is some there has been some talk about her being neurodiverse, and I think I think it's just captured in that. Everything about both of them is captured. He's got dad jokes. She's like, did you just make a dad joke? And she's like, yes. Did you get it? And that's just the moment where I'm like, oh, these two, everything about this is just, I love it. I love everything. And so I always think of that moment, that scene, when I'm writing both Gary and Phoebe in the comic.
One of the big things that I was wondering about when you're writing the book is, was there any no-go areas? Was there anywhere that you were told, like I said, sort of Vigo the Carpathian or maybe Zul? Was there anything that you weren't allowed to touch on? So
for me, so it doesn't. It's an interesting question because in any license, I've never been given a list of you can't do this. You know what I mean? It's more like, what are your ideas? These are my ideas. And then we go through them and like, well, we're going to use this for this, or we're going to use this for this, or we're saving this for something else, or something like that. So there was never a moment when there was anything in the franchise where they're like, no, we can't do that, or you can't do that. It's off limits or something. We did approach it. Definitely these series the focus was going to be the Spanglers, and it was going to be the moment that they rolled up into Manhattan, into the firehouse to be the new ghostbusting team in Manhattan. And from there, the stories from there were kind of like, the sky's the limit. Like, what's out there? There's at least one or two franchise characters back in the day that I want to see come into the new Spangler family and cause problems. But I think we'll get to
that. So sorry, I just got a wee warning on the screen there. Sorry, I was just distracted for a second. Okay, so this is a question that I'm going to put to both of you. Aviv, we'll start with yourself. Was there a character that you enjoyed representing, drawing more than others, or how did you feel? Was there like somebody that you were like, right, this is great, Phoebe's in the scene, or did you have that?
I think my favorite was probably Gary, and it's a combination of the writing just makes him super fun to play with, because he is playful. He feels more like a cartoon than any of the others in the best way possible. And also just my love for Paul Rudd probably is tied into it as well. And drawing Captain Kidd himself. It doesn't make a lot of appearances, but he's a big, scary ghost captain pirate. It's just always fun to draw.
One of my favorite words right in a row. And then for me, as far as writing characters, I mean, I love Gary. I love the one-liners. I love Phoebe. I'm just going to list them all. Trevor, Callie, Lucky, Ray. It's there. I really enjoyed, like I described the scene with Gary and Phoebe. So I have to say probably them. But putting all of these characters in different combinations in different scenes, like the scene on the top of the Empire State Building with Trevor and Lucky, where they're just sitting out, and he says he's got this huge list of things that he wants to do in 4 hours for their friendiversary. Yeah. And she's like, it's never going to happen. Sometimes you just got to let go and just roll with it. And he drops it off the side. And she goes, I know you have that saved on your phone. And he goes, it's symbolic. Just go with it. And it's just like, I love those two in that moment because it feels like that's exactly the interaction they would have in that moment. So it really, to me, is about putting these characters together and seeing how they react to one another and interact with one another. So I love them all.
Fair enough.
Brought to you by Ghostbusters.
And then, which leads into the next question, which is, because now the franchise is very much focused on the new team, the new Spanglers, and as I say, who would want to be called Gruberson? Would you like to go back and write a story set in the in-between years with the original cast? And Aviv, how would you feel about drawing a story more set sort of in the 80s or 90s?
I think one of the things I love about the new movies is the diversity in the Ghostbusters team. You've got young people, you've got older people, you've got women. It's not just 4 men in suits, which I appreciate, and I enjoy drawing more because it's more variation, more interesting character designs. If we could do that, but I don't know enough about the old movies, so I can't really say, let's jump into that point or do something interesting there. But I have nothing against 80s and 90s. I love the 80s and 90s. I grew up there. So yeah, happy to do whatever, as long as we can incorporate these more modern sensibilities of diversity, of like inclusion, of seeing myself on screen or on the comic page.
Fair. And David, yourself?
I mean, yeah. So the answer is yes, and yes, I would love to go back. There's a lot of different unexplored areas. There's basically all of the '90s is essentially unexplored. 2000s, what was going on during that time. But I think what fascinates me most is plucking the villains, ghosts from back then, from like real Ghostbusters, and putting them in the present day, having them come back. And a lot of those ghosts in the real Ghostbusters they're not just like residual hauntings, which are unaware of their surroundings. They're very aware of their surroundings. And so the one character I really keep thinking of is Sam Hain, which is the pumpkin-headed guy. This was a demon who came and wanted to make, who stopped time to make Halloween last forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this idea for a one-shot comic where it's just like an oversized issue, and the story is, you got to know that at Halloween, if the Ghostbusters are at the firehouse, that's going to be like ground zero for Halloween. The Ghostbusters. We've never really seen that. And so you imagine like the whole streets around there is just like a big street party. Like, and the Ghostbusters don't want this. They just want to like live their lives. But this is Halloween Central. And Sam Hain comes back and wants to wreak havoc. But now it's 2025. And so Sam Hain has to like interact with like phones and selfies and just all the ridiculousness that we live in now that somebody from 30, 40 years ago has not experienced yet. And I think that goes for ghouls too. So doing some fun story at Halloween with Sam Hain, bringing those characters to the present, I think as much with the new characters, to me is much more fascinating than sort of bringing the story back to that time period.
Yeah.
And we can bring the 90s. I mean, the dream of the 90s is alive and well in 2025. So we can bring that vibe to it, but just in a fun, funny way that we're very aware of what we're doing during the story.
That's amazing. That's a Halloween special waiting to happen.
Like a double-sized issue, one shot.
Just sound it.
Halloween. All right, are you available for next? Not this year, but next year.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Jenny.
Let's do
it. Jenny, Misha, if you're listening to this, we're coming for you.
Bring back Sandman. Sandman is my all-time favorite Ghostbuster villain. The Sandman.
You have to. Aviv, if you just Google Sandman or go on YouTube and Sandman from Real Ghostbusters, and his voice.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Will haunt your dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Somehow they cast a voice actor for this that is just, there's something about it. It's not just deep. It's not just gravelly. It's like there's something extra thing. Mark, exactly. You can hear it in your head right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good. I've been looking for something new to haunt my nightmares, so that's good.
And Aviv, you would actually really like the episode as well, just getting back to what you talked about, because I don't want to say too much because I want you to watch the episode, but Janine comes very much to the forefront. So I'll not say any more than that, but what? Sorry guys, don't know what happened there.
I thought that Sandman came and just wiped us out, all of us.
Bad enough. No, my Zoom just decided to completely shut down. Just wanted to make sure I'm still recording.
Oh, since you're new to Zoom, that's a thing that it does. If you're using the free version, after 45 minutes, it would shut down the conversation.
Okay, good to know. So that's what it was. But yes, no, sorry. So we were saying the Sandman episode. I definitely think if you would enjoy it. So if you get a chance, I would definitely check that one out.
I will look for it.
Yeah, and it's probably my all time favorite. And the Sandman, even out of the movies, is my favorite Ghostbuster villain.
I'm writing this down.
So right, tying into that once again. If there was any, well, actually, I'll be honest with you. My last question was, would there be anybody that you would really like to write or draw? David, I think you've answered that. I'm guessing Sam Hain would be your answer, would it?
Yeah, Sam Hain, going back to the real Ghostbusters and pulling some of those villains that maybe in the containment unit, maybe still out there, and just giving this new Ghostbusters team the opportunity to meet them. A little meet and greet with all the 90s stars from the show would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. As far as the original team, we still have them. They're still, except for Egon, everybody is still around. So I definitely have ideas for how to approach them now that they're all in their, I'm not even going to name ages. Now that they are all with us in, present day.
And Aviv, again, because I know that at the minute your knowledge of Ghostbusters is limited, but does anything come to mind? Would there be any characters that you haven't touched on yet that you would like to, or any particular ghosts, or anything that you would like to get your teeth into, so to speak?
The little Stay Puffed marshmallow peeps, the little
mini
guys,
puffs.
The mini puffs, yes. They are so cute. They are so demented. Yes, I love them. They would be so much fun to play with.
I was so against those when I saw it. It was the only thing I'd seen in the movie. I was like, no, don't like that idea, but I have kind of warmed to the movie.
I think doing a Gremlins style mini puffed movie or comic would be great.
I think it ties in beautifully to Halloween, to our Halloween special that we're doing next year. So
yes, with Sam Hain.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, and Sandman. Sandman's going to be in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a two-shot now.
Sam Hain, it's just an anthology, and we're just going to do the Halloween hijinks. One night of Halloween, and you never want to separate the team, but I think it'd be fun to put them in the like pairs, and they each have to deal with.
Certainly.
Maybe the mini puffs are loose in the firehouse, and Sam Hain's out there in the crowd doing his thing, and Sandman is like going after, I don't know.
Yeah, like 3 different perspectives on the same night, and they're occasionally like running into each other.
But and the climax is that somehow they've engineered a way for all of them to like confront each other. Like they build all their egos up so they can only be one villain. Like, well, you sit back and watch the fireworks.
I would definitely watch that. I would definitely read that.
Yeah.
All I can picture is Sam Hain's pumpkin head, and we like zoom into the eyeball, and you see that what's burning inside is one of the mini puffs. It's a candle. It could be like nobody. That's a spoiler because that could be our very last moment, our last panel. They've gotten rid of all of the mini puffs. They're like, okay, we've taken care of the Sandman. Like the mini puffs have been so annoying to Sam Hain this whole time, and like we got rid of the mini puffs. Sam Hain, we got him in the containment unit again, and we zoom in on Sam Hain's, and Sam Hain's like, this is better than dealing with the mini puffs, right? And you zoom in on Sam Hain's eye hole, and you see inside there's one mini puff.
Okay, you have to edit that out, Mark. You have to edit it out.
No, that's definitely.
Oh yeah, we're totally gonna do it. So I think that'd be so funny. Anyway.
Well, listen, guys. All the best with the rest of the series. I'm enjoying it so far. Looking forward to seeing what comes next. I know we can't. I'm not even going to ask, but I'm hoping there's more Ghostbusters projects down the line. It's something. The more Ghostbusters content, the better. So the more you guys put out, the more I know myself and legions of fans will be very keen to get their hands on. And Aviv, for someone who's so new to the franchise, I'm really enjoying your artwork.
Thank you so much.
Really, really am. I think it's got a lovely balance between real life and cartoon. It sort of takes the movies and the real Ghostbusters mashes them together in a really, really nice way. So I am
Nice.
enjoying
That's
your artwork
amazing to hear. Thank you.
immensely.
I second that so much. I just have it's been such a joy to put this together, Aviv.
It's been so much fun working on this, even without all the excitement of being part of that fandom, which I maybe am lacking a little bit. It's just been a really fun story to read and then to convey in pictures. Just a blast.
Well, you're 100% part of that fandom now, whether you like it or not.
I am.
Oh, you absolutely are. You guys look. I mean, you guys are living the dream. It's for a lot of fans like myself, just the idea of being able to contribute to the real Ghostbusters lore. Anybody can go online and write a story or whatever's happened, but to actually contribute to the universe of Ghostbusters, it's you're living the dream. It's great.
Mm.
I will say this one thing, Aviv, and I'm going to say it publicly because it's been such a fun side perk, if you will, of working on Ghostbusters, is that if you are out at a convention or anything, you can put Funko Pops, you can put any Ghostbusters merch out, and the fans like you to sign it because you're part of the fandom.
Yeah.
And so if you're a fan of Gary, I'm not an artist at all, and I know how to draw a little cartoon Slimer. So I'll do a Slimer Funko Pop and I'll draw a little cartoon Slimer, and they love it. So that's how tight and loyal and cool this fandom is that you're a part of it now. We're a part of it now, and it's just so great.
That's really cool.
Guys, before we wrap up, obviously, so the first 2 issues of Dead Man's Chest are already out. The 3rd issue is coming in the next 2 weeks. Is it week or 2? In the meantime,
yeah, it's in July.
Sorry, David, go ahead. Go again. Sorry.
I was just going to say it's in July. I think the last issue came toward the end of June, so we should be out in July.
Okay. In the meantime, if anybody wants to get in contact with you or check you out online, is there anywhere that people can get in contact with you? David, to go first, or?
Sure. The best way to get in contact, we're most active on Instagram, so it's at David M Booher on Instagram, and from there you can kind of branch off into all the many social media platforms that we have now.
And Aviv?
And I'm most active on Blue Sky, and you can find me there as Aviv Or. And same, you can then branch out to other places that I have my work on.
Excellent. Well, listen, guys, so Aviv, I know you're like myself. I'm getting ready here. We're heading out tonight to see Superman, which I'm very excited about.
Ooh, nice.
And David, you've got the whole day still ahead of you.
I saw it yesterday.
Oh, and one word review?
It's just numbers review. And I'll say 10 out of 10. Right. I am now a Superman fan.
Oh.
That's what I want to hear. I'm very, very stoked for it tonight, so I'm really hoping it's going to be good.
Fly into the theater to see it. It will blow you away. It will blow you away.
Good stuff. Well, listen, guys, thank you very much. And when I put this out, I'll tag the 2 of you and I'll let you know that it's out there. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Mark.
Guys. Thanks. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.